τα ελληνικά σας, κύριε Πρέσβη.
Kalimera σας. Welcome to our conference, and I would like to share some information and thoughts for you, because there are great unutilized opportunities for the development of trade, investment and tourism between our friendly countries, and we should work together to utilize these opportunities. So the motto could be Synergasia. So I would like to share with you some informations and details about Hungary, which might interest you. Some of them has been mentioned already by His Excellency, and you might know that the population of two friendly countries are relatively the same. Your territory is much bigger, more than 40% bigger, but the population is the same. I would like to highlight some achievements from the last year. So last year we got, in our standard, a quite limited GDP growth. That was only 2%, but for this year our government expect a significant increase, and we hope that we will hit 4% in GDP growth. His Excellency mentioned already this fight against unemployment, the successful fight. And as you can see, last year it was 5.1%. It is now almost less than 4%, and certain sectors and professions are hit by labor shortages. And another very significant result is the government debt. Last year it was 74. This year it will be less than 72%, so we are approaching rapidly to the Maastricht criteria of 60%. I would like to highlight briefly the major industries and services in Hungary. As it was mentioned, automotive industry is very important and getting even more important. They provide 13% of the Hungarian GDP, 20% of the Hungarian export. The next important sector is electronics manufacturing, information communication technology, shared services, and pharmaceutical and chemical industry. In more details, the automotive industry. Why is it so important? You could say that, this is generating the profit of the multinational companies. 700 companies are subcontracting Hungarian companies for these multinationals, and it's a strange thing that most probably just a few Greek people know that the cars they are driving were made in Hungary, because Suzuki produces annually 300,000, Audi 150,000, Mercedes-Benz 150,000 cars per year. These are huge quantities, and this production is reflected in the assortment of the Hungarian export as well. And these are complete manufacturing, so original equipment manufacturers, but besides these complete cars, Audi produces 2 million engines, and GM Opel 1 million engines, and as you can see on the logos, there are many other international companies are working in Hungary: Bosch, Thyssen, Sumitomo, and from among the 20 world's top companies, 15 are present in Hungary. As I mentioned, the electronic sector is also a major sector. The office equipment, home office equipment, and the like. And They employ 110,000 people in Hungary, and they export 92% of their total production. So they are really generating the Hungarian exports. And recently, new companies were settled and established in Hungary, like Alpine Electronics, Flextronics, Honeywell, Rosenberg, and of course they create new jobs for the Hungarian people, and they pay taxes for the government. ICT sector is also very important. They are almost the biggest employers, employing over 300,000 people in Hungary. This is the fastest growing sector in Hungary, because one should need only a human mind to produce innovation and softwares in this sector. And just to tell you some interesting details. In Hungary, as I try to emphasize, ICT is very important. And we faced, like other countries, like your country here, big problem with tax evasion and tax fraud. And of course, it's money that you haven't collected, that you couldn't collect. And about 3 years ago, the Hungarian government, with the help of the IT software and hardware companies in Hungary, introduced the so-called online cash desk. What does it mean? All the companies are forced to install this online cash desk, which is online connected by machine to machine to the tax office. At present, there are 200,000 cash desks are operating in Hungary. They are installed even in taxi cabs with a special device. And these devices are so sophisticated that, of course, they try to answer from the beginning the excuses of the retailers, and they are crash-proof, they are waterproof, they are fireproof, and in case your shop is in a basement, then it has an extension of antenna outside to an aerial. So no excuses. You can sell your food at 40 degrees centigrade in the open, and your device is still operating. So these are good things. And it was an excellent weapon against the tax evasion. And there are shrewd and try to be wise people in our country as well. So they tried to export goods on paper across borders, and they were claiming the VAT back. And our VAT is higher than yours. It's 27%. So it turned to be a promising business for them. But later on, the government introduced a new system, being a trade and transport control system. And it means that all the cargoes with a capacity of minimum 3.5 tons must be registered and declared the place of destination, the starting point, the name of the cargo, the value of the cargo, the weight of the cargo, and the truck can be controlled en route by installed cameras. So just this meant that, according to the statistics of the European Commission, unfortunately they are not very fresh, but they work like this, sorry. So in 2015, the Hungarian tax gap was a bit more than 20%. In 2014. In 2015, due to these two innovations, we pushed the tax gap down to 13%. Just to give you a comparison, in that year, in 2015, the Greek tax gap was 28.3%. And according to EU stats, the government got a loss of 5 billion euros. So these are things to be followed. Another interesting thing is that just recently, on the 1st of December, the Hungarian health insurance introduced a new system, and according to that, people can protect the woods. So in the office of a general practitioner, the patient won't get a prescription printed, but the doctor puts the ID card into a reader, and he puts the medicine prescribed on the ID card, and the patient can go to the pharmacy, and the pharmacist could check what kind of medicine the patient is required, and a big database is connected to the system, and the Hungarian people later on shouldn't carry their medical records and their diagnosis with them, but they simply can get to the hospital, and the authorized doctor, by using his ID card, can collect all the x-rays and everything. So these were just a few examples, but later on, perhaps, we can give you more. Another important sector is the agricultural technology, and you can find all kinds of equipment and technologies in this field connected with softwares and other IT solutions being interesting. And let me show you the bilateral trade results between our two countries. So, as you can see, neither the Hungarian export to Greece nor the Greek export to Hungary is high. So that's why I told you that there are great opportunities for utilizing the cooperation between the two countries. There is a slight increase, but not enough. I think with mutual efforts, we'll replicate the turnover between the two countries. And what are the export products? Fortunately, from Hungarian side, over 70% of the products are high added value products, because they are electrical machines and equipment, machines and mechanic equipment, as you could see, road vehicles, so we do not produce trucks and not very much buses, but personal cars. So these are the personal cars, but also pharmaceutical products, medicines are very important export products, and we would like to improve the assortment of food in Greece, so we could increase our food product export as well if there is a requirement for that. From the Hungarian side, the import from Greece, as you could see, the major sector is agri-food, so food products, but also got a major share the aluminium products and industrial machines, equipment, and also medicines and pharmaceuticals. So these are the main fields for cooperation: water management, waste treatment, alternative and renewable energy sources, agricultural and food processing technologies, defense industry, oil and gas industry, ICT, research and development, knowledge and technology transfer, pharmaceuticals, and medical equipment. As far as pharmaceuticals are concerned, just an example, a Greek and a Hungarian pharmaceutical companies concluded a cooperation agreement, and the duration of this agreement is 10 years, and both sides allocated 10 million euros for the project. So there are such examples, fortunately. Food processing is also very advanced, not only the finished product, but also the technology, I have to emphasize. So we can provide you machinery for slaughterhouses, dairy factories, and so on and so forth. And at the lower part of the page, you can see that these are the major food products that we regularly export all around the world. Frozen pork, meat products, bacon, traditional sausage, salami, ham, poultry, chicken, dairy products, frozen and canned vegetables and fruits, confectionery. We are also very proud of our wine, like you do. Last year we organized a wine tasting event here in Athens, and we are also famous about our mineral waters, because we got plenty of natural water wells in Hungary. Environmental industry is also very important. Just as a strange example, Hungary is a landlocked country, so we do not have sea connection, but we have, for example, containerized seawater desalination plant. So you can take the container, put it down on an island, and you can have drinking water with the help of this technology. Waste management is also very important in our country. Of course, renewable energy as well. So we also would like to keep the targets of the Paris Agreement to reduce the emission of carbon dioxide. Why to invest in? As far as the previous subject is concerned, most probably you do know Enterprise Greece being active here in Greece. They are for boosting Greek export and attracting foreign direct investment to Greece. In Hungary, the government separated the two activities. The first activity, the support, assistance, and boosting of the Hungarian export is the task of the Hungarian National Trading House, being the affiliated company of the Hungarian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. And their representatives are all around the world, like here, ALX Greece, and they support mainly SMEs, but other companies who are lacking experience or connections in foreign countries, and to support their export from the native country. Another organization in Hungary is the Hungarian Investment Promotion Agency, and their task is to attract foreign investors into Hungary. They provide different kinds of services for foreign investors. They can offer investment projects for them. If they have one, then they can assist them in getting an accountant, a lawyer, to find a plot of land for erecting a factory. They can help in getting subsidy for the investment from the government. So there are some key reasons to invest in Hungary. His Excellency mentioned already that a few years ago we introduced the flat income tax system, and the government right after introduction started gradually to decrease the rate. So the final target is to get it under 10%. And it is good for the consumption, and that's why it could give a boost for the economy. Another very significant result is, and we are leaders in this respect, okay, this is the last page, in this respect in the EU, that from January this year, we have reduced the corporate tax to 9%. So I usually say to Greek investors, why to go to Bulgaria, the corporate tax is 10% there. Why to go to Cyprus, the corporate tax is 12.5% there. Come to Hungary, because besides these advantages, the government can provide non-refundable support for the investors, provided that the new investment will create minimum 50 jobs. Then they can give significant support for the investors. And Hungary is in Central Europe, so like yours, our location in Central Europe is very centralized and strategic, and we do have very dense railway network, very dense road network. We have 4G coverage, so all the required facilities, circumstances are given there. We have well-educated young people speaking several languages. That's the reason why we have so many shared service centers in our country, call centers and other shared service centers. And on the other hand, for establishing a company, you should pay literally peanuts, because it is depending on the type of the company, the cost is between 235 and 825, and it is highly depend on the greediness of the lawyer that you will find. And another great advantage is that the registration establishment of the company can take less than 5 days. How many months you require here? I do not tell. I do not tell. And another big attraction is that we got excellent industrial parks, having all the facilities required, not only the road connection, railroad connection, but sewage, electricity, natural gas, whatever a company requires, they can find. And also we got excellent office infrastructure. And as a private investor, you can enjoy the excellent quality of life in our country. Thank you very much for your kind attention.